Hey guys, we couldn't think of anyone better to bring in for the end of the match. Someone to come up here and score.
We need an equalizer, right? We need an equalizer.
On the volley. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. Quincy Amarikwa, everybody.
Quincy. There it is.
Look at this. Hates the spotlight.
So I got to start us off because we're talking about occasionally getting negative feedback, and I think like the most absurd thing I saw today was maybe it was ESPN, maybe it was MLS posted the photo of your the equalizer last night. It's a great goal. It's off the free kick. It's like the turnaround volley. The physics don't make sense. The first comment I see is, "Why didn't you score with your head?" To which I got to give you credit. You went back at him, and it was a good response. But like, do you get tired of that too when you get that kind of feedback from people?
I'd love it.
You're so built for this. You really are. You're like, I just want you talking about me. I don't care if it's negative or positive.
Just like, thank you. You clearly don't understand how the algorithms work, and you commenting my name is getting me more awareness, and other people are seeing me, and yeah.
You were like, the engagement's up, so who cares?
We got to see bigger picture
I'm
here,
sorry,
guys.
the Quince engagement is up. There you go.
It's not a coincidence.
Okay, there's gonna be a lot of Quincy puns.
What was your
ready.
wait? By the way, Daryl, for people who listen to the show or those who don't, I'm not the biggest fan of puns. What was your horrific? It was an abomination.
I think that's unfair. But because we knew Quincy was going to be with us today, so when Quincy scored the equalizer last night, I think I yelled, "It's a miracle!"
Legitimate. I'm not kidding. Yell that.
Thank you.
Don't applaud. Don't applaud that. Don't applaud that.
Honestly, that pun was great. It's a quinspiration to us all.
I'm out of alcohol. This is not going to go well.
Quincy, though, I do want to talk to you about now your time in DC United, but you've been in the league a while, and honestly, the first I heard of you was your sort of on social media talking about sort of defending players and talking about how players should be sort of protected, how they should take care of themselves financially. Yes. You're very forward-thinking in that way. What sort of started all of that?
Heavy question. Let's think about that.
We did not think we'd stump you on the first one.
Yeah, no. Well, because when you guys say, where did that start, I'm thinking from what perspective you want me to give your answer.
All of them.
All of them. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, how much time do we have? Yeah, no, I think it would start with just like culturally. My father's Nigerian, born and raised in Nigeria. Soccer or football is the most popular sport anywhere else in the world other than America. So when he came over here, that was when I got introduced to it. But in Nigerian culture, there's three things you can be: a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. And professional soccer player isn't within that realm. So when you're thinking about forward thinking, that's what I was thinking about my future in one of those industries. And as I was playing soccer over the course of my life, soccer became an opportunity or an ability for me to kind of make that transition. So it was that mindset that I developed because of that culturally that I applied to soccer, which is why from the day I joined the league, I was talking to guys like, why aren't we planning for our retirement? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we, like,
your
financially?
401ks are trash.
Yeah, so like,
You're handing out business cards in the locker room. Talk to me.
Come talk to me.
Why did it, when you told your father you wanted to play, soccer professionally, was he like, oh, you're going to be a doctor who plays professional soccer? Like, was he still trying?
Socrates.
Yeah. So I think by the time I finished college, right, by the time I was getting to the end of college, my dad loved soccer because that was the thing that was helping me pay for college. So he's all on board about that. And then all of a sudden, a week before, I was like, oh, hey, these guys are drafting me, so I think I'm going to try that. And it's kind of like, wait, hold on, what? What are you talking about? Like, how much do those guys make? And I'm going like, we don't want to look at that. Don't worry about that, Dad. Think big picture.
Let
10
me
years
explain
from
TAM
now.
to you real quick.
Come sit down.
Yeah, I need to pull out these charts.
It's definitely an MLS crowd when TAM lands. Like that's a big sign.
Oh, TAM, I was waiting on that one.
So he wasn't thrilled about the idea, but at that point in time, I was kind of like, what are you going to do? You can't stop me. And I was looking at it in terms of 10
And then
years
he hits
from now.
you, and you're like, oh, wow, you
But
can.
that's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Nigerian, yeah, Cuban. We get hit every day.
Yeah, I was thinking, the reason why I decided to go pro was because I was thinking 10 years from now, I think MLS is going to be real big time. And it makes more financial sense just from being on podcasts and talking in front of a live audience right now.
Sure.
Right? Then
This podcast will make you tons of money, I promise.
We're all billionaires. Billionaires.
This is...
don't let them fool you. They're collecting a lot of money.
The Midas touch.
Yeah. They downplay it because they don't want you to start your own podcast. That's what it is.
We're going to have thousands and thousands of Garber bucks, baby.
But I do have a podcast question for you, actually,
Okay.
or just a media in general, because we had Pablo Jason up here talking about difficult interviews, tough coaches to deal with. Mm-hmm. Flipping that around though, how is that for you? That when you do get sort of people who you think that guy doesn't know what he's talking about, that's not what happened
That's
there.
most of the time, you talking to me right now. You don't know what you're talking about.
What's that?
What?
I didn't hear what you said.
I just
Finally,
deal with
someone goes after total soccer.
Had it coming.
No, I think while I am uniquely positioned for this role is because of how I started out in the league. I said, okay, I'm thinking about this 10 years from now, and clearly no one else is. So I can take maximum risk because worst case scenario, people will tell a story of yo, this crazy idiot Quincy guy, I can't even believe he tried this. He was vlogging, started a Quincy Time episode. He was promoting himself all the time. He was saying his website on TV. And he got kicked out of the league, and I don't know what he's doing. He's a doctor somewhere now. Or, right? Or...
I love the doctor's a fallback, it's some easy job, right?
That's what I'm saying.
What a wild alternate reality.
Or he did it, and it worked. Look at what he's doing right now.
Exactly.
MSL. He's in my head. Must be a conspiracy.
I love how much it hurts Taylor.
I mean, I'm not. That was solid. That was a solid one. That was a solid one.
Yeah, but sorry, your question.
Oh no, it really was just so when you hear people talking about stuff that you think they're wrong, is it difficult to fight that inclination to go back at them to disagree? It's well, that's not really what happened there.
I tried that.
The guy saying you should have headed that volley that you scored.
Yeah, well then I just go, clearly you know something I don't. Right? Maybe he does. But if I used my head, he wouldn't have said, you should have done a flick over the thing volley and put it in that way like Zlatan. So,
Right.
whatever, as long as
Although
you're
when
paying attention.
you volleyed the shot in, right? We
Yep.
were here watching. I mean, there was some players in our way from the Revs, but we could see it. And when you did that,
I saw Diego Fagundez's butt. Instead
I
of the
saw his
goal.
butt get real tight as soon as he scored. When you're doing that, when you're volleying, that's not the first thing you're taught. In that moment, when you're doing something are you thinking yo, this is gonna look fly, or are you thinking oh boy, this better fucking go?
So then I can back up more. Okay, so I'm from Bakersfield, California, which is the mecca of soccer development, clearly.
I'm sorry, the mecca of soccer is the Bronx.
Is no one else just shocked by the emphatic Bakersfield applause? Because that
Shout
totally
out
threw me.
Bakersfield.
It's a plant.
Industry plant. They're on to me.
Well, I heard they like to grow, so maybe that is a plant. Bakersfield, California. Come on, everybody.
No.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we too highbrow for a marijuana joke?
No, I talk a lot to the guys about it. Basically, my philosophy is adapt or die, right? And in Bakersfield, growing up, and still today, I didn't watch other people play soccer. So I wasn't watching soccer on TV. I just played, and I enjoyed playing. And no one I played with in high school made it to college, and no one I played with at college made it to pro. So the way in which I've developed and grown over time is through having to learn quickly around the players around me and pull from them the things that make them special and try to integrate that into my game. And the way I approach the game, I think most people would consider unconventional, but that's the way I had to approach the game to survive. So I wasn't getting the best passes in and the cleanest passes and the touches in. I'm most comfortable when the ball's up here over the side of my head. That's easier. That goal that I scored today is so much easier than someone passing it on the ground to me inside the 6-yard box. I'm like,
You're like, what do you hit my foot for?
my bad. So I'm jealous of these guys out here because the way that they approached the game was they did the simple things really well over a long period of time, so that's what they got good at. It's routine. I did the difficult things really well over time, so the simple things are most difficult for me. So it benefits me in certain situations like that yesterday, but it doesn't help me in the sides where people are like, you suck, I don't understand why you're still here. And I go, exactly. Exactly.
You're like,
Yep. That's why I'm here, because you can't figure it out. You can't stop it. So it's more like they play me because they're angry that they have to. You know, it's like, I'm not happy about this. But if it keeps working, fine.
And do opposition players, say anything like that to you on the field about your sort of unorthodox game?
Oh yeah, they hate it. I hate it, and what they don't realize is that just encourages me more, right? So I'm the old. So I had to think about it for a while, and I was in college. My friend Ahmad, so shout out Ahmad if you're paying attention to this. I was just annoying the crap out of him, like just really just.
That is annoying.
Right? And there's a moment in time where you can read the guy and you go like, I definitely shouldn't do this one more time.
You
Like-
picked the person who would be the most annoyed by that. Right? So that was great.
So it's like, maybe I just have a sense for it, right?
See, the thing is, I got to interject for a moment to say that he's actually the worst person because I literally do that stage to him. That's why I'm laughing.
I've trained for this moment.
Right?
Yeah.
He's trained for this. Everything's led him here. But that I see as an opportunity to break him mentally. So it's just.
Do you really make that noise in the game?
All the time. Whatever I need to do to just annoy you.
Did you do that last night?
No, last time.
Is that why Philadelphia's defensive line was so deep on the free kick?
So I played against him or his cousins back in Davis with them. So they've known me a long time, and they know I'm just relentless. And I go like, so I'll tie it all together. But the big thing is, I remember with Ahmad, because I was just annoying him, and I could tell that, okay, if I do this one more time, he's going to want to fight me, like legitimately fight me. And I went,
So
that's
like,
when I got most excited.
Of
I
course.
went,
Wins.
and we're fighting, and I was taking judo at that time, so then he tried to like fight me, and I grabbed him and I threw him on the ground, and I was just laughing. And I was like, wow, this is so evil. Like, this is horrible. This is not good. I was like, why did I take so much like pleasure in that?
And you chose to tell us this story.
I'm telling you.
It's a good story.
I'm telling you, that's what I said. It's either going to work out or it's not. And you guys will be like, he shouldn't have said that story, and it all went downhill from there. But I thought about it, and I was like, so I'm the oldest and only boy of 4, so I have 3 younger sisters. And my mom and my aunt and then my cousins, all girls. And when you're in a house growing up with women all the time, you can't use your physical strength, like you can't hit, you know what I mean? You can't fight in anything like that. But women in psychological warfare, right? The only way I can get my sisters is. So I had really thought about it. I went, oh wow.
I'm gonna treat the opposition like my little sisters.
Opposition's like, where's my pudding, man?
So that's where I learned more about myself and why I enjoy that. And I realized that that's a huge asset on the field because most of these guys aren't used to that. So just, yeah, if you're paying attention and you see me you watch what I'm doing.
Just needling them a little bit, yeah.
But you got to know where the line is, right? Because like if you
I
little
can't
slap
touch
on the
his I can't
face,
touch his face.
but behind the ears, okay?
But I can.
I'm so uncomfortable for Daryl.
Poor Daryl.
But no,
Pick
that
the one British guy to whisper in his ear.
But that begs a serious question, because we've wondered this. So like that is a big part of the game. But with VAR, then do you have to consider that when you're doing that stuff? Because that is the thing where like if you do it like a little too aggressive, and now we're just poking you.
Well, I mean, the ref,
but like a
the
little
ref's
bit too
gonna
much,
come
they're
out
gonna
and
be like,
yellow card for whispering sweet nothings into his ear.
Your mother is adorable.
You remind me of a puppy. I guess we have one more question for you because I know you have to run. This is important because we've had the chance to speak to you a few times, and you are a bit of an enigma for a soccer player in the U.S. You have a big personality. You don't shy away from it. You don't hide from it. You do a bunch of stuff, vlogging. You know, you're pushing other stuff, your websites and stuff. You're wearing merch now. You got everybody in your family wearing merch. It's all really cool, like, to see someone doing this kind of stuff. But if you had to say, like, what is the one thing, if you asked some people you've played with or some of your former colleagues, what they think or what you think you do best? What do you think they would say, and what do you think you would say?
I think I'm the greatest teammate of all time.
Nice, humble.
Super, just straight up. Because the reason why I survive and I stick around a long time is because I figure out what your individual goals are and where you want to be, and then I do the work that you're not willing to do to help you get there.
All right. You sound like a financial planner.
Yeah.
This is great.
So hire him to do your taxes.
That's a genuine skill. That's amazing.
Well, listen, I mean, this was an absolute honor, and I'm glad that you haven't been here long. Some of the fans got a chance to sort of really kind of feel you out and see who you are, and especially not a bad game to have played the day before.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Quincy
Amarikwa, folks.
Everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, brother.
What's up? It's the world champion, Judah Friedlander, and you're watching the Cooligans.